All right, Simon. So, we did that sort of major slash minor scale, depending on how you look at it last time. Now, we spent most of the lesson putting on the new set of strings, so I didn't really get as much time as I would have liked to kind of go through the theory of it and, a bit of phrasing as well. So, we'll do that next time. But for now, so you have the scale tabbed out, but I'll just go through it again. So, it's one of those scales where you're better off generally, exceptions obviously, of course, but generally having a finger for each fret. So first finger, first fret, second finger, and third fret on their respective frets. So, so by that, what I mean is, it's definitely don't do it this way. So because that's just not efficient at all. It's never going to be smooth. But you might be tempted as well to do it this way. So that's fine up to here, but then you have to go back down, which doesn't sound like that big a deal. But you always want to try and make it as efficient and smooth as possible to get the best, smoothest kind of phrasing, possible. Just make it all nice and efficient, nice and steady. So what you really want to do is this. A good rule of thumb is, get your fingers to do the work so your hand doesn't have to. Okay, so and come back down with it as well. And always try and get into the habit of down up picking. Okay, so that's the scale. So all I really want you to do now is just kind of get familiar with it. Kind of go all the way up, all the way down, and just get familiar with that with the shape of the scale, if you know what I mean. So now playing it down here is only going to work if you're in the key of A minor or C major. Okay, it's because there's a thing called relative major and minor, where if you have A minor, the relative major of that is C major. Okay, the relative and rule of thumb is the relative major is always 3 frets or 3 semitones above its relative minor. Okay, so if you've got E minor, the relative major of that is G major. Okay, let's say you had B minor, so that's B, C, C sharp, D. There's the relative major of B minor. Okay, so let's say you've got a song and it's in the key of E minor. So you know that when you play it down here, starting off with that open A string, that's in the key of A minor. So it's just a question of how far up the fretboard do you have to take this to the point where it gets to E, okay? So you know the chromatic scale, I have it written down there for you. So all you really need to remember from that is that it's A to G. Every one of those has a sharp version of itself, let's say, 1 fret above, except B and E, okay? So when you count up, A sharp, B, no B sharp, so straight to C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. So 7th fret. So if you want to play that scale in the key of E minor, you bring it up with your capo to the 7th fret. Now you don't have to use a capo. You can just as easily do this. Okay, just holding the open what would normally be the open strings with your first finger down here on the 7th fret. But just for now, use the capo. Okay, so stick it on there, and it's the exact same thing then. Let's say we wanted it, you had a song that was in, I don't know, C sharp minor. So you've got A, A sharp, B, C, C sharp. So capo there, and same shape again. Okay. Let's say it's in the key of D major. So then it's a little bit trickier, but not really. Now you can either say to yourself, well, what's the relative minor of D major? Well, get your D note, go down by 3, 1, 2, 3, B minor. So it's the B minor scale that you want, so you put it on the 2nd fret. Another way you could figure it out would be, well, here's the major position of the A minor one, C. So if I find a D note with that, C, C sharp, D, and I know that that's 3 frets above where the minor one starts, so then that means it must be on the 2nd fret, okay? So it might be a bit confusing to start off with, but if you just think about it in those terms, it will become fairly clear, because it's actually simple enough, but just when you hear about it the first time, it can be a bit kind of confusing. So, but for now, just practice the scale all the way up, all the way back down, alternate picking all the way, and we'll see what we can do with it then next time. All right, talk to you then.